Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome one of our two runners-up in the 2020 Masters, Cameron Smith. He finished the tournament with a 67, 68, 69, 69, the first player in Masters history to complete all 4 rounds in under 70. I think this is the best result of a major championship. I'm pretty confident of that, although I know you did very well here a few years ago when you tied for 5th. So this is not a new course for you. But tell us a little bit about how things went today and how you feel about your finish in this final round of the Masters.
It was pretty solid. I wouldn't say I brought my best stuff, especially the longer stuff. I felt as though I struggled with the driver a lot this week. Obviously, my scrambling, my chipping and putting was unreal this week. Probably the best it's ever been. So a lot of good stuff, but also a lot of stuff to work on.
And your best birdie of the day, in your view, you had some good ones, really good. Tell us about 9. You looked nervous about 9.
Yeah, I actually thought out of that pine straw, I actually thought the ball shot right. I had no idea where it landed. I was aiming kind of maybe 10 feet right of that, and I thought it would push it out right, and it pushed it out left. So a good break there, but I mean, you got to have some, take the good with the bad.
Look at the video later. You'll enjoy it. Okay, let me turn it over to the folks here. Ben, I'll start with you.
Just while you were talking there on 9, what about 7? It looked like on 7 you had no window. It must have been a small window. That shot probably kept your chances alive.
Yeah. Obviously had an option of chipping out. Knew I had to keep the pressure on Dustin, and wasn't here to finish second basically. So there was a small gap up there. The club was, pretty good. Just had to hit it really hard and good, and it turned out well.
You said that obviously you weren't here to finish second. You had your foot down. You got within 2 at the turn. What were you thinking then, and what did you think you needed to do from there, and when did you feel it finally slipped away? I felt as though I needed to shoot 3 or 4 under on that back 9 with the wind the way it was. It got pretty tricky out there. I would say after 16, after not birdieing 16, I thought if I birdied the last 4, I thought I'd still have a chance. At least make him think about it, and it wasn't to be.
Doug Stutzman?
Nobody in 84 years has shot 4 rounds in the 60s. Not Tiger, not Hogan, Snead, nobody. And you did it this week. Just talk about the personal significance and just how cool that is.
That's really cool. I had no idea starting today that I needed to do that. That's really cool. I honestly can't believe it, but just got to put it down myself. I just got to put it down to just scrambling and, digging deep. I think there was a few times throughout the week where I could have let it slip away, and it didn't.
So you didn't know on 17 that was at stake, or, when you were short of the green on 18, you had no idea that you had to get up and down to shoot 69 and set that, or not set anything, but make that history?
No idea. Absolutely no idea.
John.
Yes, sir. Cameron, really 2 questions. First of all, for a lot of Americans who don't know you particularly well, tell us a little bit about how long have you been in the country, and I know you're down in Jacksonville, and give us a sense of that. Then I want to talk to you about the Asia Pacific Amateur as well, because I know you played in a couple of those, and get a little of your history with that.
Yeah. I think this is my 6th or 7th year on tour. I've lived in Jacksonville now for about 5 years. Like to still go home a lot. I usually go home once or twice during the year, play the tournaments down there, but Jacksonville's where I base myself out of now. That's about it, really.
And would you play in 2 Asia Pacific Amateurs? And I was just wondering, those competing in that, of course, the winner gets to go to the Masters, and I'm wondering, going back to 2011, 2012, you're thinking of playing in the Masters even back then, and
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to play in the first one. I can't remember where it was. I remember I played with Hideki in the last round. He ended up winning, getting the spot. But yeah, I mean, the Masters do a great job over there. I mean, it makes this tournament for me a little bit more special, knowing that what they do for the young kids in Asia and all around Australia.
See, yeah, Rex, please.
Cam, can you just give me the club for the second shot on 9?
9-9.
And how far did you have?
I had 141 meters, 155-ish.
Thank you, I didn't want to do that.
160 yards.
And then when you look at, that's an amazing stat, the fact that you're the first ever to post 4 rounds in the 60s. Is it a little bit bittersweet, though, the fact that you did it up against DJ?
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, it would have been cool to do that and win. I was actually saying before, I'd take 15 under around here the rest of my career, and I might win a couple. So yeah, it's just the way it is. I felt as though I didn't quite have my longest stuff, like I said, this week, but the scrambling for me was what kept me in it.
Dan, before I come back, I just want to have one question, a remote question here. You've got a lot of fans in Brisbane. Any message for them, or are they listening and cheering, and are they breaking out of beer already?
It's probably my mum. No, I mean, I hope they're not drinking beer already. It's about 6 a.m., I think. I'm sure my old man would have cracked one if I had got the win today. But yeah, thanks for the support, guys. I've got all your messages this week on social media, and it means a lot. You kept me in it, but yeah, sorry I couldn't get it done.
I'm going to give the last question to Ben Averill over here, the Australian Associated Press. I think it's an appropriate one to finish up on.
Thanks, mate. By the way, that 15 under would have won all but 7 Masters in the history of this thing, so pretty decent effort. But one thing I will remind you of, the next major is back here, all things being equal. Are you excited, obviously, what you've done in 18 and now here to bring your game back, even if it is a bit faster, harder and faster?
Yeah, I love the course that way. I love when it plays firm and fast. I felt like I got away with a lot this week. A bit of skew whiff shots into the green. Something I might need to tidy up if we're coming back here and it's firm and fast. But no, I love the place. I want to win here really badly, and I feel like it brings the best out of my game.
And you feel like this result will spur you ahead? Obviously, you've got a title defence potentially in there in January. You've got the players where you live. You could go on a good run if you can take the confidence from this result.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, massive confidence booster. It's a shame I'm not going to play a tournament for about a couple of months, but yeah, I can't wait to start back up in Hawaii, and obviously try and defend there would be awesome. I love that course as well. So yeah, in for a good start to the year, I think.
Cams, on behalf of all of us here at Augusta National, congratulations on just a terrific week, and we look forward to seeing you back here in April.
Thank you.
Thank you all.